There's a certain kind of gratitude that comes from the generosity of friends. Our friends Kristy, Scott, and Lincoln gifted us some greenhouses. To some, they might be just structures of metal and plastic, but to us, they're a chance to breathe life into the soil, even in the heart of winter. We travelled north to Brisbane to dismantle them. It took us about 2 or 3 days under the hot sun, and Eli helped Paul put the first one back together when we returned, working behind the shed where we live. It's a good spot, close enough to tend to seedlings in the winter and close enough to protect the plants that fear the frost. While the greenhouse rose, I found myself in quieter work, the kind of work that feels small but carries the weight of generations, collecting seeds. I started with the kale first. Its dried, brittle pods under my hands. Each twist of my fingers revealed the tiny black seeds, smaller than poppy seeds, falling into the paper bags like drops of ink. After I collect the kale seeds, I head to the parsley, and like kale, parsley is a biennial, meaning it produces seeds in its second year. So basically you let the parsley plants bolt, which means they grow tall and form umbrella-like clusters of tiny flowers, and then you wait for the seeds to ripen. When they turn brown and dry, that's the time to harvest the seeds. So the way that I do it is I just use the scissors or secateurs to cut the dried flower clusters and place them in a paper bag for a while to dry out even further. Then you just gently rub the flower clusters between your fingers to release the seeds. It's hard not to dream when you work with seeds. Each one is a tiny act of hope, a reminder that the smallest things can carry the greatest potential. Every day out here is an act of faith. Faith in the land, faith in the work, and faith in the promise that what we sow today will bloom tomorrow. This holiday season, I'm wishing for the kind of wealth that money could never buy. The gentle peace of a quiet mind. The warmth of laughter echoing through rooms filled with those we love. And the pure joy of adventures that remind us in every breath and every step that we are alive. But more than anything, I wish for you to see your own light, to feel the depth of your worth, and to know, and in this vast universe, your presence creates ripples of magic that touch more lives than you'll ever know. For the longest time, I've searched for meaning, for answers, and for clarity about life. But now I see there is no sense to be made. There's only life to be lived. There's no singular purpose waiting to be fulfilled, no ultimate checklist to complete. Life is here, now, in this moment. It's in the quiet inhale, the tender exhale, in the love we give, the kindness we share, the emotions we allow ourselves to feel. Life hides in the little things we so often overlook. The golden light of morning spilling through the window, the feel of the earth beneath the bare feet, the sparkle of joy in someone's eyes. I've learned this: to uncomplicate your heart is to rediscover the beauty and wonder in simply being. Be here, be present, embrace your journey just as it is. Look at all these parsley seeds. The greenhouse stands now, its frame sturdy against the wind. There's still shade cloth to hang and a sprinkler system has just been set up. The hardest part is done. We've just moved some of these things in temporarily just to clean up and to get everything in the one place. We'll probably move it around and reorganise it once we get the shade cloth over the top. If you have any tips for organising greenhouses, let us know in the comments below. The red spinach seeds are next. The other name for red spinach is amaranth. And so basically, yeah, you just let the seeds go through the edible stage or beyond the edible stage. The red spinach will produce tall flower stalks with tiny flowers that will eventually turn into seed clusters. The seeds are ready when the flower stalks dry out and turn brown. This process may take a few weeks after flowering. So most of these seed pods that I've picked are brown, and I leave the red ones on until they get a bit drier. Next is my calendula flowers seeds. So basically for the calendulas, you wait for the seed heads to mature. You allow the flowers to bloom fully and fade. And as the petals wither, the flower heads will form seeds. So you wait until the seed heads turn brown and dry on the plant. And the bunching shallots also grow tall. They produce round, spiky flower heads filled with tiny flowers that eventually turn into seed pods. The seeds are ready when the flower heads dry out and the seeds inside turn black. So you cut the flower heads off and hold them over. I put them in a paper bag, and you can gently crush the seed heads to release the seeds. You can remove any debris or leftover flower material by hand just by using a sieve or something like that. On a rainy day, with the world damp and still, I sat at the kitchen table for hours, the sounds of seeds hitting bowls like it was a heartbeat in the quiet, the rhythm of patience and hope. Life is too precious not to embrace the magic in the little things. It's too fleeting not to laugh loudly, love deeply, and feel the sun on your face. So, due to kale being part of the pest-prone cabbage family, apparently it's not meant to be planted alongside tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, strawberries, mustard, climbing beans and basil. So apparently kale grows well with coriander and marigolds or calendulas. So I'm trying to grow our kale with coriander and calendulas around them. My coriander seeds have been drying out for long enough, so I'll put them in the glass jar now. Whoops, I've spilt them everywhere now. If you've been following along with us on our journey, you'll know that my stepmother and siblings are from Thailand, and a lot of their meals or dishes that they cook involve using coriander, and coriander's great because almost the entire plant is edible. The leaves, stems, seeds, and also the roots, and they're all used in lots of different Thai dishes, which we love. I labelled the jars with a permanent marker, knowing that these seeds might rest for years before they meet the earth. They look alike, these tiny specks, but each holds a promise of growth, of nourishment, of something green and alive, where there was once only dirt. And now for the bunching shallot seeds. Bunching shallots are great. They're not like the traditional bulb-forming onions. These shallots grow in clumps, producing slender green stalks and small bulbs, and they're easy to grow and provide a continuous harvest. I love it how I can just walk outside when I'm cooking and grab a whole bunch of the green stalks, and then I just leave the base intact so it just regrows continuously. Bunching shallots mature quickly, so you don't have to wait very long to enjoy your harvest. They're usually perennial, so they'll just keep on growing as long as you leave the bulbs and roots in the soil, and they don't take up a lot of room at all in your garden, so they're great for small gardens or raised beds or even pots. And bunching shallots are tolerant of lots of different conditions. They thrive in both full sun and partial shades. They're hardy and they grow in a range of climates, making them accessible to lots of different gardeners. So now I just need to separate the seeds out from the dried flower bits. My kale seeds are going into the glass jar as well now. In the greenhouse, I've got all of the seeds stored in airtight containers, but I need to be able to protect them from the sprinkler system. So we've got this old filing cabinet that we're going to put the seeds into, but our permaculture teacher Lana taught us that using an old fridge out in the greenhouse or somewhere outdoors actually keeps the seeds nice and safe and usually cooler than the outside temperature. So we haven't got an old fridge, but the filing cabinet is just going to have to do. These flower heads I had lying around on the kitchen table, I think they might actually be green onions, which are very similar to shallots. I stored probably thousands of seeds, but I tucked some seeds into the soil and I scattered others, letting them fall like rain, like a dream of what this land could become. The red spinach stalks are next, and my fingers slide tightly along their length, freeing the seeds into the bag. Almost every day I go out into the garden and pull off some of the dried red spinach seeds and I scatter them around as I walk along, tossing them like confetti into the earth. I've taken to calling myself the seed fairy, dreaming of a day when this land will be abundant and alive. When we bought this amaranth originally, it was called red spinach or Chinese spinach. It's a versatile, nutrient-rich plant known for its striking red leaves. And there are many different types of amaranth, each with unique characteristics, colours and uses. The amaranth seeds are also used as a gluten-free alternative grain. The great thing about growing amaranth in Australia is that it's highly drought tolerant and it likes the warm, sunny weather. It's also really easy to grow. And the more you harvest the leaves, the more it's encouraged to grow new growth. I just love the vibrant red leaves which add a pop of colour to our garden. It's a visually striking element when we look out into our garden. And so the other thing I wanted to mention was that we're actually going to Thailand to spend Christmas with our family there. And there'll be a series of our videos coming up soon that will be about Thailand and our Christmas experience. But we will get back to our usual videos after the Thailand series. And as we step into a new year, I wanted to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for being part of our journey. We hope you had a beautiful holiday season filled with warmth, laughter, and the company of those you'll love. I think of our kale, our calendula, our spinach, our bunching shallots and our coriander seeds all waiting in jars now. Their futures stored safely away. They'll last for years if treated right, but I doubt I'll wait that long. Someday, I tell myself, this place will be abundant, wild with health and beauty, and until then we work, we wait, and we sow.